Welcome, everybody. Maybe Javier is coming in 3, 4, 5 minutes, okay? We are waiting.
Okay. Yeah, I know he's a very, very busy man recently. You know, so.
Yes, of course. It's really is very complicated. Thanks, Jairo. Muchas gracias, Jairo, por conseguirnos estas conexiones, for getting these connections with Javier, porque realmente es un hombre muy ocupado. He's really a very busy man, and it's difficult because his schedule always is very, very, very full. But okay, it's thank you. Gracias to Jairo, that is our blind here in Spain, that is making this favor, making these negotiations with Javier. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Gracias a vosotros, chicos.
Yeah, vosotros,
Nada, me
vosotros.
acaba de contestar Javier que entra en 1 minuto.
1 minute. 1, 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Javier is calling.
So basically, guys, obviously, I can imagine that you're all aware what Kuailian is about, because obviously on that call we're not gonna do a presentation, so it's gonna be more like a Q&A session. So we've got opportunity to ask Javier, which is joining us in a minute, all the questions you've got regarding Kuailian, what you would like to know, what is some uncertainties or something which you don't understand. So that's basically the opportunity to meet up the CEO, the guy which is looking after Kuailian. So if you don't have any questions, or prepare them, and let's ask all the questions on that call.
I will have a lot of questions, but can you say if you hear me properly?
I couldn't hear it.
I thought so.
Password 945532. Anybody know offhand? I believe it is. It's in Spanish.
There's people from USA, you know, from
Yes,
Japan
yes,
too? From Japan?
Not yet.
From
Japan.
Not yet. Okay.
Contrasena, does that mean password?
From Poland too?
Yes, we've got some leaders from Poland as well.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's all international network
Very
marketing
international.
family.
Yes. Yes, really good. Nice. Okay, let's wait a little. I'm going to check. Need to come into. ¿Qué tal, Martín?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Finish week?
Not yet.
Not
Hopefully.
yet. Muy cerca. Take a beer soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of new exciting features, isn't it? I was watching yesterday corporate call with Javier, what Javier was doing, you know, he was talking about this new short term packages as well, yeah? So that's also something exciting, you know, so completely different new product will come out, isn't it? Yeah? So that's good. The MAS license, I can imagine, is very close to be publicated as well, you know, so.
Correct.
It's very, very close to coming, yes. Yes, the SBF Singapore license is coming very, very, maybe after this summer, maybe we have, yes, but we don't know exactly. But it's coming. Companies make all the regulations for take this license, so it's making very, very good. Creo que Javier Jairo, ¿está ya Javier por ahí?
Estoy por aquí.
Ah, vale, creo que ha entrado ya. Ok. Bueno, Javier is coming, está aquí con todos vosotros y bueno, pues ya te saludo desde aquí, desde Málaga, Martín también, y te dejo. Tenemos un grupo aquí, al final pues somos, creo que han venido 10, 12 personas, entre gente de Polonia, Estados Unidos, y te dejo ya que inicies tú un poco la presentación.
Sí, ahí le he puesto, buenas tardes Javier, ahí te he puesto como coanfitrión por si tuvieras que compartir alguna imagen o lo que fuera.
Maravilloso.
Gracias por estar, lo primero.
Muchas gracias, exacto. Muchas gracias por el tiempo.
Nada, hombre, para eso estamos. Venimos, me pilláis que no estoy ahora mismo en casa, ahora me pongo la cámara, pero bueno, estoy en un hotel que estoy por el norte tanzando.
Ajá, genial. Mientras haya wifi, ¿no?
Espero que bueno. How is everybody doing?
Amazing week.
Are you having sun down there, Martin?
Yeah.
That's always good. That's always what we want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a pretty crazy week ourselves. Martin, hello.
Hello, Javier. Thank you very much again for finding some time for us, for our team. Incredible. Much appreciated because obviously I know how it is. So we've got lots of international people on the call today. We've got leaders from South Africa, leaders from the United States, from Poland, and basically they all excited about Kuailian, and obviously they starting and they've got some questions which they would like to ask, and obviously get to know yourself as well. So guys, I don't know if maybe Marco, would you like to start?
Guys, I don't know if you got notified yesterday through the corporate call that we did. But the offices that we had to open due to the new regulations of the FIU, of the Financial Intelligence Unit in Estonia, are already operational. And in about a week or two, we're going to give everybody the address. So if anybody wants to visit, they're going to be able to visit. We're just finishing the final touches to make it look beautiful for people to be able to visit if they want to. And there's going to be an operational office in Estonia and one in Singapore for the company in Singapore.
Javier, I have one question. Can you record that? Is it possible? Two of my leaders can come, and then I can also send them the recording.
Yeah, of course. Let me hit the button, and I will be recording.
Thank you, bros.
There you go. Recording.
Super.
Thank you very much.
So sorry for the audio because I'm not at home and I don't have my microphone and all my gadgets, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to do what I love from far distance. So it's always lovely. I'm not sure if my connection is going to be 100% decent, but I found quite a Wi-Fi here, so it should be good. Hotels are still pretty empty here in Spain, so I went up north for a couple of days.
Cool.
How is everybody doing? Awesome to meet you. All the people that I see that are new in this call, and happy to see everybody that I already know back online. So go ahead. Do you want me to share a bit what we've been? Well, we talked about many things in the corporate call yesterday. I don't know how many of you were there. We're having updates, especially next week. Next Thursday, I'm going to be receiving updates today at the end of the day. According to next week's call, that is going to be pretty impressive. We're going to have a lot of things to announce next week, because with the new depository banks and everything that we've been doing, buying and selling cryptos is going to be instant now, and that's something that we wanted to be able to achieve. The liquidity providers is not something easy. So when it comes to buying and selling, you don't always have immediate offer in the market. So we managed to appoint that, and it's something that we wanted to have, because we understand some people are always looking for the best price, so they want to have some euros in Kuailian Bank to be able to buy and sell at the perfect spot, and that was something that we were very keen on managing as well. So it's something that is already happening, and we're happy about.
Do you know when you'll be able to do that outside Europe? Because at the moment, I think it's mainly Europe can use Kuailian Bank to purchase crypto, isn't it?
Yeah, with the new depository banks that we're working right now, which should be up, I hope, by next week. It's something that is thanks to the new regulations that we acquired and everything that we upgraded in terms of our understanding with the new regulations that Estonia has pulled out. We have access to more banks, and we have access to more, better things. And that's obviously upgrading for us. And this is why we're, in the upcoming weeks, we're integrating the merchant to receive as well credit and debit cards. I still don't know the exact limits per day in sales. They're obviously lower than transactions via bank wire. That's always the case, because we have to understand that debit cards and credit cards have a different jurisdiction, and you have chargebacks and some of the things that we need to as clear in terms of risk, but we do know that it is going to be a thing that's going to happen. So bank wires is something that we cannot control as much. We are going to expand our depository banks to be able to reach further options with better pricings. And then for the rest of the people, I'll recommend debit cards, because mostly debit cards work all around the globe. So it doesn't matter. From the moment on we have debit cards, it doesn't matter where you're buying from. It should work as long as it's a Visa or a MasterCard that has usually 3D secure. This is one of the requirements that most merchants are going to ask, which is it's just a simple code that you usually have to put on the Visa. Most Visas, at least in Europe, already use 3D secure. So it's not something worrying for us. And most, I think, globally use 3D secure.
I know we've got people from the United States, and obviously in the United States, there's always a concern about programs being on FCA or SEC radars. Am I correct, Marco? Because that was one of the questions you were asking when there's always concerns with the businesses like that. Am I right, Marco? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, were you referring to like the KYC?
He's talking to compliance in the United States.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that is a concern.
We do understand that concern, but we have to as well acknowledge the fact that with the major payment institution in Singapore, we're being audited by the MAS. All the regulators or high-level regulators are in more or less the same standards. So if we have the audit done by the MAS, we can walk into practically any other regulator and get regulated everywhere. Now, conditions in some places when we regulate may vary. Okay, this is the thing that happens sometimes, especially when buying and selling crypto. We may need more requirements in the US as soon as we enter with an office there. So some things may change in terms of pricing or in terms of the amounts that people can buy. We're not 100% sure of how it is going to affect, but what we do know is we want to operate and be compliant with the FCA regulations, with SEC and all the regulators that there are over there. So it is something that is very important for us because we want to be able to operate in the future with full deployment in the US.
And there's no concern about, because that's obviously side of purchasing crypto, but what about staking side of the business? Is there any concern about that?
Now, well, one of the details we commented yesterday in the call is that the product that we're regulating in Singapore, it's two versions. We have the short-term staking, which is the new product that we're going to be launching soon, which is basically the idea of staking with us. You can simply stake your tokens, whether it's Tezos, we're going to show a full span of different staking technologies that you're going to be able to use with us and that you're going to be able to stake with us. And then the long-term staking, which is the pool that everybody already knows, is going to be audited. So basically the MAS works with a very big auditing company, which I won't disclose yet, but it's one of the big fours. And what they're going to basically do is audit the product. There's going to be a permanent audit, which is a part that is going to be permanently under audit every single day. And then there's going to be a part where they're going to do a full audit every 12 months. And I think, and I can't promise, every 6 months they're going to do something similar, where they're going to be auditing regularly everything that happens in the fluxes, where everything that comes in, everything that comes out, what we're staking and how it's working in terms of the portfolio to be able to prove to the people. And that is something that is good because if you have an audit done by a big auditor, you're going to have the advantage that when you walk into a regulator, you're already walking in with a full dossier of what you're doing and how it's working and how you're regulated in other jurisdictions. So that makes it easier for you to be able to walk in. But if you're walking in with a regulation from a country that does understand fully how cryptocurrencies are working and how blockchain technology are working, walking into other regulations is going to get easier. That is why we went for Singapore first. I mean, we need to understand that Singapore today, as a regulator in terms of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and all these MEs and everything that has happened in the past months, is something that became very big. It's been one of the focuses for many of the STOs that governments are launching. And understanding that, we need to understand that for the stable coins that they're launching and the security tokens and everything that they're launching, we're going to be seeing a lot of Singapore in the next months because they already know their way around how the regulations should be done. And everybody's pretty happy with the way they handled it. So it is going to be pretty much a center, I would say, of cryptocurrency, together with Estonia, with other countries that already have been a center of cryptocurrency technology.
Awesome, thank you very much.
I have question. Do you hear me well?
Yeah.
My question is about the 1,000-day stacking, because you say that it's going to be 1,000-day stacking, but before I was told that we are investing in MasterNodes, and from the information which I got, you can't stake MasterNodes. If you put a MasterNode, you can stake them. So how is it working?
So we do both. So the thing is this, okay? Initially, when we started the project, we were a MasterNode based, which means proof of service. MasterNode's a proof of service. It's a kind of staking technology, okay? It's still staking. It's just simply different, because for pure staking, you only need a wallet that you call a staking wallet, and you simply stake the tokens towards the different functions that they're going to use within its blockchain. It's different what you're going to require, the amount of tokens, the amount of blocking, and everything that goes with it. And when you're doing a MasterNode, the only difference is you need to set up a VPS, you need to set up a certain amount of things, download a full copy of the blockchain, et cetera, et cetera. So both things are staking. If you look at it in the same idea, staking has over 40 protocols, different protocols. It includes proof of service, BFT, non-BFT, you have staking, delegated staking, you have dividends, a lot of different technologies for staking, but they're all englobed under the same idea as staking. Now, what happened is, for the first year, we were focused mainly on MasterNodes because of the profitability they were having and the ease of use that we were having on them. And eventually, I think it was 3 months ago already, right? Or about 4 months, especially the low risk pool, the initial pool that we've always had, has been focusing more on staking technologies. We opened up compatibility with more staking, especially delegated staking technologies. And basically it's doing part of MasterNodes, Zcoin, Dash, other MasterNodes, and it's doing part of staking, pure staking. So it has.
Okay, that's simple.
It's a combo, we could say. It does both.
Okay, and the other question I had, I was looking on your website about the MasterNode which you got, and I found only info about Dash, Zcoin, and Energy. And you have other MasterNodes?
Yes, you can actually see the full list of MasterNodes and staking technologies we're compatible with within the website. If you go to kuailian.com, you're going to be able to see the full list that we are using right now of MasterNodes or staking technologies that we are compatible with. So
but that list is not just a full info of every cryptocurrency which is compatible of MasterNode, or every one you use?
It's a list of every technology we are compatible with. There are many more.
Nice.
So if you look at staking technologies, I think it's already over 1,000. But if you look at the ones we are compatible with, I would say it's about 300. It depends on the protocol they have. So we're not compatible with every other staking technology out there because they keep popping up new technologies every day. We keep updating our systems, but we're not compatible with every single staking technology out there, but we are compatible with about 80% of the staking technologies that there are. This doesn't mean we set up every single MasterNode or staking technology there is out there at disposition. We select the ones that we feel are the best, or the ones that machine learning feels that are working better, and looking at the volume. So there are many technologies in staking markets that many people, and sometimes they walk up to me and say, hey, I would be staking this, and it's not my choice. At the end of the day, it depends on the different algorithms that the setting has. And we don't pick the MasterNodes manually, because in my case, there are some MasterNodes or some staking technologies that maybe I would be participating in and the pool is not. So it's not a full choice that we do manually, But what is a thing that we're most certainly going to see is that in the future, when Ethereum 2.0 kicks in, which is something we're waiting with arms wide open. I think everybody in the community is waiting for it. And the moment it kicks in, it's most likely that Ethereum 2.0 is going to take part of the cap of the market that we have today. Because basically, when we're working with Dash or we're working with other technologies, if you have Dash and Zcoin, or you have Dash and Ethereum 2.0 paying exactly more or less the same amount, but Ethereum 2.0 is pure staking and it's still paying similar amounts to what Dash is going to be paying annually, it makes more sense to have Ethereum at the end of the day. It's always going to be a mix, but it is going to be running more towards Ethereum.
Okay, simple.
it's always determining, and we always have to be 100% understanding that it's always determined by the amount of tokens that there is staking at the moment. It depends on the amount of technologies, the volumes there are. The market keeps changing. So if you ask right now, exactly this exact minute, what we have right now in staking, I would have to pull out a report from machine learning. So I would have to ask IT. It is not something that happens instantly. I mean, it's not a thing that you update every single second of the day. Okay, we are creating new statistics and new reports that are going to be coming up in the next months. But if you look at them right now, it doesn't update every single minute. And we need to understand as well, because many people don't really understand, that when you're doing pure staking, the only risk you have is that you lose your private keys, okay, which can happen. But when you're doing masternodes, when you're doing other technologies, you need to understand as well that you have a VPS, you have IPs, you have different buyers, which are not going to be a point where you can get attacked in terms of getting stolen, but there are a point when they can block your operative for a few hours. And still, we're very keen on the fact that we want 100% uptime. Okay, you can never get 100% uptime, but we do want to maintain a 99.9% uptime, which means every day, most of our masternodes, excluding maybe someday that one may fall down, are going to be operating. And that's how we get our full return. Because many times when people lose efficiency, when creating or setting up masternodes, it is because they don't really know 100% how to keep them up running. And as soon as you have a power outage or something like it, you're going to lose a few hours of rewards, which is always going to hurt, obviously. Every minute counts towards efficiency.
Okay, I asked about this thing because I saw this list of 128 cryptocurrencies you work with. And when I checked the masternodes online, I found only 3 of them, as I said, you know. So that's why I asked about this, because didn't saw any other masternode online.
No, but don't worry. That is because right now we're only currently showing the technologies with high liquidity in the market. So we need to understand that for the past year, we have been subject of, really know how to put it in a nice way, many people that would not like us to be doing what we're doing, okay? So this means that when you have a low liquidity token, you are more exposed to people trying to block you from being able to sell that token or from being able to do the things that you're doing. So when we talk about small tokens in terms of protection right now, what the pool is showing or what the monitoring is showing is only the high liquidity tokens, such as Dash, Energy, Zcoin, tokens that are so big that by knowing we have them, you're not going to get in a risk. But if you talk about a token that has $200,000 in volume, which could be very profitable, as soon as somebody notices what you're doing with it, they're going to walk into it. And the more people stake it, the less probably you're going to be producing. So at the end of the day, to maintain our efficiency, there are some nodes that we cannot show, which we did usually show, but then we've seen that people try to copy us, people try to, well, basically do exactly the same structure that we do in bigger or smaller scale. So in terms of competition, it is better for some of those masternodes to keep private. That is why we're going for the regulations, because once we regulate and the masternode portfolio is being audited day by day, there is no need anymore to show people exactly what masternodes we have. We will still be showing a lot of information for the people that are curious, but we will be able to cut up on some of the things that are being shown because we have an auditor that is proving that what we say is what there is, you know.
I understand this, simple. And you know, my people asked me if I can verify the masternode somehow, and I know you before give us the public IP or something like this. And now, is there any possibility now to verify that the masternode is working in the system, or not yet?
There is always a possibility to do it, but what I have to talk with IT is how we, as I said, I think we had a call last week. There was a very similar question. I have to talk with IT how we can do it. If it's something that we can do in person with a small group, if it's something that, so it depends on the situation. We need to see how we can do it fully. We are going to show something very interesting in the January event, but we understand that people have the concern that they want to see things earlier than that, and that's something that we are very keen on. So the new monitoring tools are going to show a lot of things in the next upcoming months. But for those people that are more hungry for it, I already talked with my partners, and we're going to see how we could do it. To have a small group of people come and see manually with us, obviously without risking exposure, seeing what we have behind the scenes, so they could see it as well and be proof of what we have.
Okay, thank you.
Because we do understand that concern. It's obviously natural.
What do the future monitors look like that you're saying in the next coming months, and what do you anticipate showing in the behind the scenes?
Well, in terms of well, depending on behind the scenes, if you come to see us directly, especially if you come to the IT office, you're going to be able to see a lot more. You basically could, as soon as the new monitoring is set up, be able to see practically every detail behind the scenes of what we do. Now, when we're talking about what we're going to be showing in the open monitoring, it is going to be much more extensive than the ones that we have now. We're going to be monitoring a lot more details from every masternode or every staking technology that we have. And we need to understand there is a big difference between staking and masternodes. They're both staking protocols, but when you show people your masternode IP, they can basically block it, or they can basically knock it down. If you're showing people your staking wallet, the only thing they're going to see is a wallet. They're not going to know anything about it or where the keys are held. So you don't have the same risk, which basically when we're talking about staking, the more we get deep into staking, pure delegated staking, you can see that many more things are going to be able to be public. And that is something that we're very keen on and that we're going to work very hard for people to be able to still see everything that we see, and for people to be able to enjoy the full experience of what it is to stake. Hello?
Awesome. Hello, Javier. I had one question come up with talking to my team. Basically, what's happening with the private keys to the masternodes? Let's say there could be a situation. Let's say you are kidnapped, for example, yeah, and basically, what is a safety protocol within the company, basically, to secure our capital? That if something happened to you, to David Luiz, that. You could be kidnapped. There's a lot of bad people around the world, yeah, and obviously, what is the security measurements in place to basically secure that?
Well, the exact details behind it is something I cannot fully disclose. But what you need to understand is that the person that is actually really holding or managing the security for the masternodes is someone that most people won't really see personally, physically, which is something that we're very keen on for a very obvious situation, right? If you know where this person is, they become a target, and we don't want that to happen. So obviously, for various reasons, one of the things that happens a lot is that the person, and he's one of our partners, basically, he's the third partner that most people hear about, and some people do know, but he's very private about his life, and that's because he needs to maintain privacy. He is in charge of the IT department, and we want him to maintain that privacy because that is one of the things that keep it secure for us. But we need to understand we have a full team of security devs that are basically entitled to take care of that systems, and everything that we do is not only to audit it once, but we audit it once, twice, or thrice if needed, to be able to ensure that everything that happens is not being able to be manipulated or getting at risk. So we need to understand that everything that we do is, so if you want to talk about safety, we are probably the most paranoid people that you're ever going to find. And when I mean that, I mean in that if you ever search my entire place to find my ledger's private keys, you would never find them because they're not even in my place. We're that kind of weird people that have been in crypto long enough to know how to keep safe something that you don't want people seeing. So we don't post them online. We don't have them on servers. We don't, we don't do that kind of crazy stuff that we've heard some exchanges have done in the past, risking those private keys.
So basically the private keys are secure with the head of IT, or there is a system which operates that, or is there any lawyers involved as well, or something like that? Or
it is complex, but there is a system in place. Basically, for you to understand fully, we don't ever access private keys manually. Nobody does. Nobody can physically do it. If we wanted to empty a masternode or anything like it manually, we can't. It has a lot of protocols between us and a masternode. to be sure about that.
So basically, there cannot be a risk a person heading the IT to stealing all the money, for example, closing all the masternodes. And
so this is one of the things that we wanted to ensure from minute one. Our IT department is very tight with us in terms of we take very, very, very care in the people we incorporate to any department in the company, but especially IT. It's an in-house department for a reason. We never externalize anything in terms of security or anything like it. And we make sure that everybody that works with us is fully of trust and obviously good people. Because at the end of the day, we need to understand there are very good developers all around the world. Okay, but when you work all around the world with developers, you need to understand that there are some things not even the developers are going to have access to. Because we want to make sure that that cannot happen. Greed is one of the biggest issues that human beings have. And we don't want that to become a problem in the way of the direction we're heading.
Okay, so, thank you very much.
It is complex, but for you to understand, when you develop something with us, you're not going to have full access to uploading the code.
Okay.
That's something only a few people have. And that's one of the thousands of safety measures that we take, because in that sense, when we talk about IT, we're very, very keen about it. This is the reason why we haven't had a filtration since the moment we started, or we haven't had any issues in that sense, because we take very good care of it. You need to understand IT is the heart of our company. It's literally the heart of the company.
Thank you very much.
Do you know how long it can take to get you regulated in Singapore?
Excuse me? I didn't.
Sorry. Do you know how it can take to get you regulated in Singapore? Like, are you in a halfway, or it can take a year, or do you know?
The date?
Yeah. Just how long it can take, like a week?
No, so Singapore is something that we are aiming to have before December. We gave the official date as December, but we are aiming to have it much earlier. What we can't do is promise it, but we were actually aiming to have it in a couple months, but we can't obviously promise people out front that that's going to be a thing, because it doesn't depend on us. We have heard that they're going to expedite processes up there, but there is not really much we can do once we've given in all the documentation, everything is being proceeded forward. It's just a matter of paperwork. It's just bureaucracy, and we will give news to everybody as soon as it is. That's why we created a page for the staking regulation. We are pretty much ahead in the process that we're developing there, but we can't have an official date. We may have an official date by the end of July, but we can't have an official date right now because we don't really know how much it's going to take them. They said before December it should be. We don't know. I mean, I can never give a word on what somebody else has dependency on. If it doesn't depend on me,
for the information I need to know.
I understand. If you want an official date, we said December. My personal opinion is going to happen before that, but I can't be 100% sure. So if you want to stick to a safe date, say December. So we do understand that people are very used to what fast is, but when you talk about fast in big corporations, fast is 2 years, so what we've been doing is not like fast, it's super fast, because we've been working in under 2 years. Everything that we've achieved, if you look at the roadmap that we've had and all the developments that we've had under happening live while the project was live, it's pretty crazy. Now, if you think about it, we applied for these licenses at the beginning of the year, and in under a year we're going to get licenses that are very tough to get. And we need to understand that some exchanges have been years fighting for some licenses that they now acquired, and people don't even know they've been 3 or 2 or 4 years fighting for them. So at the end of the day, we need to understand that what we're doing and the process we undercame has been very fast and expedited every minute of the way, because we are working together with the regulator to make sure that everything can go as fast as possible.
Okay, that's easy.
Can you explain the new product that you said is coming out?
Short-term staking.
Yes, sir.
Well, short-term staking is actually, in terms of what a configuration is, it's probably the simplest product that we've launched ever. It's gonna be something that people are gonna love, but I think it's probably the simplest product we've ever launched. If you look at the staking regulation section, we put a full flux of how the system works, and it's basically the fact that you're going to be able to buy a few tokens of the different cryptocurrencies that are working with staking technologies as of today. And our systems of machine learning are simply going to put them on staking for you and make sure that you receive the rewards. Now, the difference is we will put some different configurations where you will be able to receive in different tokens and exchange them automatically in different integrations. But the idea is similar at the beginning, as many people do not know how to stake, but they know it works. So our idea is very simple, that you can stake with us. And the idea is very, very simple. You, for example, you buy Tezos, you send them to the system is going to stake them for you and show you the online system and your keys and everything that there is for it. And it's basically going to stake them for you and show the rewards that you're going to be receiving and send them directly to you. So it's basically going to be staking. It's short-term staking. It's short-term. That means every coin is going to be depending on the amount of time that it has. For example, one of the things they're saying about Ethereum 2.0, which is something that is not fully disclosed yet, is that it is going to work with 180 days block. Now, we still don't know exactly all of the technologies that are being launched. Some of them have a very low blocking time. Some of them have a high blocking time. It depends on the time. But if you compare 1,000 days to 180, it is obviously a reduction.
Is each asset going to have a different price point?
Yeah, well, basically the tokens. You can deposit. You're basically going to be depositing tokens of the exact coin that you want to stake, and that's going to be your property. We're just simply handling the staking in an automatic manner for you.
Any minimum?
That's something I don't know yet, because it will depend on the asset. For some assets, there is a minimum staking required. Some assets have a very low staking minimum required. So the idea is that our idea is to reduce the minimums that they require. For example, if you go to Ethereum 2.0, you require 32 Ethereums. This is the reason we want a staking group, because we understand many people want to stake Ethereum, but not many people have 32 Ethereums. So our idea is to be able to simplify that. I should check the minimums. This is some of the details that I think we're going to be revealing in the next weeks, but I still don't have the full idea of how we're going to do it in some of the tokens, because that's a bit more technical.
Thank you.
My pleasure, as always. These questions are heavy, huh? You guys go all in. You guys go all in. Go ahead, Marcin. Well, is it Marcin speaking? No, yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, there. Okay, Paul. Right now, that's probably the last thing you said is probably the thing. High risk hasn't been the main concern, because we need to understand, and we've understood with time that we still need more education. This meaning we still need people to understand more heavily or profoundly the systems that we have in place and how they work. Right now, high risk has a return that is very high. It is actually over the clouds. But the idea is very simple. The more staking we have in that area, the less it's probably going to be paying. Now, obviously, it's always going to be paying more than other products, but it's still, people need to understand high risk means exactly that. And I think that many people don't. So it hasn't been a priority to launch. We know it was ready to launch. We haven't launched it yet. I can't give you a full date on when, if it's going to be launched and when, because it is something that we're still discussing very, very deeply. And there is a very, very different opinions within corporate about what that product may do. So we are looking for a way to be able to put it out for the people, but we want to make sure that when it comes out, it is not going to be something that produces negativity. We want it to have a good impact. We want people to enjoy it, understanding fully that what they're buying is different to the two products they currently have. We're talking about a high risk product. When I mean high risk, it's real, you know. So people need to understand that, and we want to make sure that if we launch it, and it may happen, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, it launches in the right conditions. So for today, I think the idea would be that it's not the main focus we have right now. We're focusing on the regulations. We're focusing on the new products, the Kuailian Bank, new incorporations, everything that is coming in the upcoming months. that we are taking good care of, and we will decide soon if the high risk is going to be one of our priorities. My pleasure. Guys, any last question that you want to ask?
Yes, I have next one. When I was analyzing the real time, I saw that you showed account, but the amount of cryptocurrency you sell to the Bitcoin is much lower than you send it to the Kuailian bank. How is it going? Like that, you know what I mean?
I didn't get you 100%, but were you talking about the process within the crypto pool, or were you talking about the process within Kuailian Bank?
I mean the real-time reward monitoring. You can check it on the site, yeah? And you show there exactly your way of your cryptocurrency from the MasterNode to the Binance, where you sell it to the Bitcoin. And the amount of Bitcoin you get from the selling is much lower than the amount you send to the Kuailian bank.
That depends, because if you look at the Bitcoin, the entire entry of Bitcoin that we have on from to Binance, and you look at the outcome of Ethereum, discounting the commissions, it should add up when you look at the profit report. It should add up between Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Maybe I checked something wrong, but I saw the amount that like you sell the cryptocurrencies and you get like half of the Bitcoin, but then there is information that you send to the Kuailian bank almost like 40 Bitcoins, you know?
I'll review that with my partners, but I'm not sure that we are bringing a new explanation for people to be able to understand fully the flux of the wallets, because we've seen there is a lot of confusion with the actual imaging of it. But we need to understand as well, if you looked at it this week, you will have seen that since we unified the payments, everything goes through the Fast Bonus wallet. So it's not going to be identified at the Fast Bonus wallet anymore, but it all goes through the Fast Bonus wallet. So I'll review and make sure that to be able to understand exactly what those 40 Bitcoins that you're talking about, because it's probably the profit of the company. But if it's not, I'll make sure to understand fully what it is about, and I'll be able to disclose it to you on our next call. For sure.
Okay, no problem. And my other question is that I was looking at every address of the wallet, and I don't know if there is your Binance address or the Binance address is not public.
No, the Binance address is basically so there is a Binance address, which is the one you're seeing on the Bitcoin report on the address that you're seeing is the one receiving. But as you know, it's institutional accounts what we have in different exchanges. So basically, the addresses that you have are sometimes dynamic, sometimes not. But we usually just send them from, I think it's Binance 4 or Binance 5. That's how it's tagged in the system. So basically, that is the tag they gave it. It's how the exchanges work. You don't really have the
I saw these tags. I saw these tags, and I was thinking, what's going on about this?
So you need to exchange the exchanges work differently to what usually happens in block explorers. We need to understand they use different wallets. Some of them use mixers. Some of them are crazy when you look at the architecture they have to protect themselves. So maybe get a bit crazy when you go in depth into those exchanges, but you can't really track them. I mean, I've seen people track them. I don't usually get into it myself because I know I get crazy, but you can track them. Every movement, actually.
Okay, nice. And I have last question on the how big is your team of your IT and every worker like officially working for Kuailian?
In total, say there's always 70 people working in Kuailian today.
Okay, it's good.
We're not, as I said, we're still a startup. We're not huge. We understand there's huge corporations out there. We're still growing and expanding slowly. And as well, we take very, very good care of who we sign up on our teams. So it's something that is very, very exclusive on that sense. I don't manage that side of it, especially on the IT area, but there is quite a amount of people depending if you put together IT, marketing, compliance department, support and everything, there is quite a bunch of people right now behind the scenes. It's obviously we wouldn't be able to do it alone. So there's quite an amount of people with us.
And I go as they are not working from the street or home. So do you have some kind of office or place from which everyone works?
Yeah, as I said earlier at the beginning of the call, we have the new office in Estonia that is going to be, it's already open due to regulations that we need to comply with. And it will be, we will give the address, I'm not sure if next week or in 2 weeks, because we are already conditioning everything for people to be able to come and see. And we will be having as well soon the directions and the address for the Singapore office. That is not something I handle myself personally, but what I was told yesterday is basically that we will be having the new addresses for everything, for every detail. So
yeah,
you will be able to visit. That was a car alarm.
But from to these days, you were working in Spain, or how does it look like? Because you said you will open an office in Estonia, yeah? But you were working 18 months. So to this day, where you were working?
That's something that has, I think we're going to do a full report for the news about it, because that's something that people were stunned about. Everybody we have in our team is people we trust fully, but most of them have been working telematically for most of the time, which is something crazy. We managed to have a decentralized team for a very long time, very trustworthy, and you can see by the result we've had. And now it's time to just start packing people in offices. But the people we have are very good at what they do, and most of them work from home. I can't disclose every location of every person that works with us, but for the parts I manage, which is especially marketing, they all work from home. They're especially marketing, they're from here, from nearby, and they all work from home. So that's one of the things that many experts were asking us, how did we manage to achieve such a level of success by having decentralized people, right? And the thing that we need to understand fully is that there's specialists in every single area in development that we need to understand, and they're not all located in the same place, and putting them together in the same place is what we're working towards now. But it's not easy to put everyone together in the same place. You have experts all around the globe, and if you want the best, you're not always going to get them to move to wherever you want them to go, you know.
Okay, bro, thank you. I'm going all in.
Thank you. I know it's pretty crazy, huh? But if you look at my marketing team, you go crazy when you see that they're all day connected to Zoom and they're all day connected to conferences, and we have different monitoring systems. There's a lot of ways to track a team and their work that they're doing, and we have a very organized system to be able to ensure that everything they're doing is fully efficient. So I know it's pretty crazy, but I think that's part of the future. I mean, every day that goes by, I see the model we've used to scale up our departments is something that I think people are going to use a lot. And as long as it works, as long as you find people that are trustworthy and you filter them correctly, you can have a very nice team of people, and all those individuals can be anywhere in the world. And that is probably the best thing about it. And when you don't ask somebody to move to wherever you want them to go, it gets easier for you to be able to have them working happily. I think that's probably one of the keys to the success we've had. People are excited. People are into the project. They like it. They feel it as it's their own. And I think that's one of the things that works better for us, that people like what they're doing. They enjoy what is happening around it. And they're excited about what we can do together.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I was wondering, D, do you have any questions maybe? Because D was also keen to get on a call as well, to arrange a call. So I was wondering, D is also from the United States. So I'm just wondering if she...
Yes, you know, Javier, I was actually on a call with you guys already, you know, from the beginning. So, you know, I have no questions. I just wanted to make sure that my team has, and let me show my face here. And I wanted to make sure my team, you know, got all the questions that they have. I understand the transparency. I understand what you guys are doing, and I really appreciate it. You know, I'm a technology fanatic, and I love MasterNodes. you know, I've had my experience personally with MasterNodes. So, you know, I wanted to make sure my team got the questions that they needed answered so that we could move forward.
Awesome. Amazing. Nice. Nice.
And again, I really appreciate you. I really do. Honestly. And I can't wait to meet you and, you know, the event.
That's something we're very looking forward to. It was actually one of the biggest, maybe I can say one of the biggest smacks that this year gave us, right? Because at the end of the day, we were very excited to have the event in July, which was the official date that we had already said. Actually, it will be happening in a few weeks. And it was very exciting for us, getting a lot of things ready for the event and pulling a lot of things together. And when this massive situation that we've globally had to come through as humanity, right, happened, and everything that the people living through, and we're seeing the effects on tourism and all the different areas of what is happening around the world right now, right, where, for example, I'm not allowed to travel outside of Spain, which is crazy in my opinion. And we've seen the effect it's had, and obviously we couldn't keep up with having the event because many people could not come, and we want people to come. We have people flying in from practically all over the globe. And, you know, celebrating an event without some of the teams that we have all around the world wouldn't mean we would be celebrating with our family. So at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure that everybody could come. And even though, you know, it wasn't our initial choice, at the end, you have to be compliant with what the local regulations tell you. And there was no way we could have thrown an event of 2,000 people in July. They wouldn't have let us. It would have just been blocked the minute we started. So we preferred to wait to the exact moment. And I think the precise moment is going to be in January. I think it's going to be a perfect moment. People are going to be happy, more cheerful. I think they're going to receive all the news and all the updates, and everything is going to be more fluid. So at the end of the day, I think January is a good date. And we're going to have a lot more things to show on the bright side. So we always have to see the silver lining.
Right. And I'm really appreciative of that because, you know, yeah, we did have a, you know, a crazy year this year. So I think January, pushing that off to January is most sufficient for, you know, everybody to get together for this amazing event. So I'm just really excited about it. And does any of my team have any more last questions?
Yeah, I have a question, Javier. You know, I'm over here in the United States. When I first heard of this, it was like big in Latin America. I didn't really like get to know too much about the company because everything was in Spanish. Are you working on anything with the marketing side? Any like marketing materials, support group for the international leaders?
Everything actually right now is in English, Spanish, French, Italian. And it's being translated right now to Vietnamese, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese. Well, Chinese. I don't really know a lot about Chinese, and another language more. And then we have it as well in Greek, Brazilian. So we should have practically by the end of next week, we should have it in practically every language people speak in the team. We've been translated to many languages, and we hope we're translated to many more. And in terms of the new marketing materials that we're pulling out, everything comes always in English and Spanish, as you can see. And we're pulling up a lot of new material from the marketing department. I think this month is going to be hitting the streets. I think that you guys are going to like it. And it's all fully in English. It's always fully in English. We pick the most standard accent because I know that whether you're in the US or whether in the UK, and even though inside the same country, there is a lot of different accents. So we're always picking the most standard accent that we can in that sense. So people are familiar as well with it because we know there are some closed accents that people don't really understand. And we wanted to make it comprehensible for everybody. So we're going to be translating the full materials that we create to 6 to 8 languages. So that should help a lot of people, especially with English, but practically to every language that we have. Everything, at least Spanish and English, is always going to be there for every piece of work that we pull out. Then the translators keep coming in and out to help with the different translations to other languages that are probably today less used in our company, but are going to be obviously catching a lot of strength in the next months.
Excellent. Thank you for answering my question. I had another question. When a member joins Kuailian and they pay for the activation fee, are they able to earn any commission from that? If they do refer people without a package, or they have to purchase a package?
So if we go to the technical detail about it, by having the fee paid, you can refer people and you will receive fast bonuses. Fast bonuses are uncapped. Residuals are not, but you can't receive fast bonus. That's reality. Whether you have a KUAI or you don't, you can receive fast bonuses. That is a reality.
Okay, great. And there's some confusion between like the low risk package and the medium risk package. So the way it works is like if someone purchases like one low risk package, they are only allowed to purchase just one medium risk. Is it just the ratio?
Yeah, that's the ratio, 1-to-1.
And there's unlimited amount of packages they can purchase for the low risk and the medium risk?
Correct. It's unlimited. So as long as it's a 1-to-1 ratio, they can buy as many low risk as they want, and they're going to be able to buy as many medium risk as they bought low risk. So there's not really a limitation. As of today, we have a couple of big whales, as they call them, inside the pool that have quite an amount of Ethereum in it.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I was pretty excited to know that this is like, built on the Ethereum blockchain, that you get paid 7 days a week for 1,000 days. It just reminded me just like crypto mining. And I was like, I needed something that's automated, and this is perfect.
Yeah, I think it's the main idea. I mean, one of the biggest goals we had as a company, as a vision, as an ecosystem is, one, I don't see why some systems pay Monday to Friday if they're crypto, which doesn't really make sense, because when you talk about crypto, it's just the crypto market never closes. It's working. It's the real vision of money never sleeps, right?
Yeah, 24/7.
And then there's a detail, if you ever had a mining rig, or you ever had an ASIC miner, you know that every time the pool pays, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, it's still gonna spread out the payments. So if you're mining with a pool and you're connecting your rigs to a pool, a mining pool, you're still gonna be paid, right? And at the end of the day, if staking is something that is borderless and limitless, and that's how it works, we didn't really understand why some processes or some programs do it in that way, right? But they retain weekends or something, and it's like, on weekends they're still profiting. So it didn't really make much sense for us to not do it that way. And in regards to the smart contracts and everything within the Ethereum blockchain, it's just that we feel, and we already felt it 2 years ago, Ethereum is going to be, for us, she's the queen of the market, but I think eventually it's going to become the king. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at Ethereum, it's dominating, but it's not dominating.
It's following Bitcoin, whenever Bitcoin goes up.
It's not only dominating, because people are always focused on the actual exact price, dollar to dollar.
Supply and demand.
And it's obvious Bitcoin has 21 million offered. I mean, it's just... it's a different idea. It's a storage value. It's not a technology used for smart contracts or anything like it. It doesn't actually even have them. So unless you go through SKI,
so I had a question about the products. I see that you added educational videos on Forex. Do you plan on like expanding that? What are your plans there?
Well, we have the Forex Academy has 3 levels: school, high school, and college. But now that you asked, and actually nobody has ever asked for it in the past months, we are expanding the Crypto Academy in 4 topics every month. We're expanding the Crypto Academy 4 topics every month. We have 2 educators working on that. And then on the other side, we're going to be expanding the Forex courses. And I think we're going to be reaching out to many other markets that we find interesting, because the Forex course is something I created years ago. With my partners, and we like them because my personal experience is I started off as a trader. I mean, and in my case, I've been a trader for years. I actually still trade sometimes when I'm looking for some fun, and I think that trading is a lot. it's a job itself, you know, and you're teaching people how to get the fish. And I think it's very important that we keep growing on that area. So the free education that we offer is going to keep growing. We're going to keep expanding it and expanding it and expanding it. We're actually bringing more and more talent into that area, not only on Forex or on crypto or blockchain technologies, but as well on other different ideas that we want people to have their knowledge there, right? We believe that knowledge base can keep growing and growing as long as people keep adding more value and more content. And I think that is one of the stepping stones for what the ecosystem is today. I think for what the ecosystem is, education is going to be one of those stepping stones.
Thank you for answering my question. Yeah, that definitely Forex is that's something that people are really wanted to learn. It's a master's skill that's going to be with them for the rest of their lives. You know, MasterNodes is something new that's coming, and everyone wants to learn it. It's definitely not easy to understand it if you haven't done any MasterNodes before. Like, I'm new to it, so D has already set up a MasterNode. I'm pretty excited. This is my first MasterNode opportunity.
It's actually quite an experience, and if anybody ever, I think we're going to be having a new tutorial very soon. The marketing guys are getting ready for people to understand how to set up a MasterNode. Okay, now we're never scared of people setting up their own MasterNodes. Actually, you know, we push people towards trying for themselves. They're going to see how complicated it is. But I think it's always good to encourage people to see the technology behind it, because that way you can discover the complexity you're saving yourself, you know, from having and the monitoring that you need to be doing day on, day off to be able to ensure that your MasterNodes are running and everything. It's actually quite fun. I think it's an experience. I mean, we're going to do one of these days a video very soon that we're preparing, showing people live how to set up a MasterNode. And I think that's going to be something people are going to like. My personal
I'm going to love that.
You can, that's the idea. You can try it. And I recommend some people do it, but it's not the same to set up a Dash MasterNode or a Zcoin MasterNode. They're going into other technologies where the risk is not knowing how to set it up. The difficulty about it is tracking correctly the volume and not getting tricked into buying tokens that are going to get you trapped. That is probably the difficulty of the market, you know, but it is fun. It's the same as when I bought my first mining rig years back, and I was like, I didn't even know how to set up a mining rig. I'm sure many people didn't either, but you know, you walk through tutorials, you ask techie guys, and at the end of the day, it's not that tough. As it is tough what we do, but it's not tough to set up a MasterNode itself, right? And I think that's the thing. Every time technology keeps leaping forward, it gets easier. Staking is easier than the MasterNode setting up. And when you get into delegated staking, when you get into different protocols, you're going to see that each time staking is going to get easier. You're not going to need to rely on Binance or Coinbase or any big exchange to do it. You can just do it yourself, you know, and that's the cool thing about it. Now, if you don't find a way to do it, we'll make it easier for you, you know, but we understand some tokens are difficult to stake, some are not. And I think in the case of Ethereum 2.0, it's going to pop open a can of a lot of surprises for many people, where they're going to discover what really passive means. I mean, Ethereum 2.0 is for me, it's like the biggest thing we're going to be having this year. I mean, it's just going to change everything. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I wanted to ask one more question. I know that you got the low risk, the medium risk. When are y'all going to activate the pro?
You mean the high risk, right?
Yes, the high risk.
That is, I was asked earlier about it. That is something that we don't have a date for. It is not our main priority because some people still don't understand what MasterNodes or what this technology is really capable of or how it changes. And if it's a volatile product. So even though it's giving very high rewards, and it's been working already since, I think I activated mine in December. So we're talking about quite a long time of track record. We're still seeing how we're going to commercialize it. That doesn't mean it's not going to hit the markets, but we're still seeing how we can get it to the people without it becoming something that recoils on us. We want people to understand what they're buying and what it is they're actually going to stake, the masternodes that they're going to be staking, because we're not talking about the regular Dash or the regular Z coin. We're talking about some coins or tokens
that can be pumped and dumped. That could be pumped and dumped, right?
Most of them, yeah.
Right.
That's the detail. So people need to understand that yes, profitability is high, plus value is low, but we are staking for a high reward, and this means that higher reward, higher risk, and some people don't really understand that fact.
Correct.
I've heard many people say that, yeah, but cryptocurrency. Yeah, but cryptocurrency, for all we know, even though I put my hand on the fire, some people are gonna not be happy about this. I would put my hand on the fire. Actually, my life is crypto. My entire life is cryptocurrency based. And still, I have to say there is always the minimum, most remote possibility that someday we don't use cryptocurrencies. This is the reality of the world. World keeps changing, world keeps moving around, and today everything is about crypto, and maybe in 15 years there is something better and people move on. So at the end of the day, people need to understand that even the safest thing in the world, and then people never thought banks could go broke. So we've learned a lot about economy in the last 20 years, and it's something crazy to understand that everything we think is always going to be there may not be there tomorrow. And our idea is very simple. We have a product for the next 10 to 15 years is offering good rewards. We know the market is going to be favorable, and it's going to be a very interesting situation or scenario. And then we'll figure it out. We still have a lot more of ideas. We still have a lot more of things, and we still have tokenization, which is probably going to be the best thing that's happened to us. So we never look at the short image or the short-term picture. We're always looking at the long-term vision. And I think that's what probably positioned us in the market that was raw when we started, because it was actually not ready. And now, 2 years afterwards, it's mature enough for people to look at it. And we came in earlier, and that's one of the things that my mentor always told me: find a trend and get in before it started. And if that happens, you're going to be earlier than the wave, and that's always going to position you correctly. So at the end of the day, we saw that trend coming, and we put ourselves in position for something we thought was going to be the future. And eventually it happened. Now, in the next 10 years, there's probably going to be a lot of very interesting things in the crypto market. But people need to understand that you can never sell anything in your life 100% free of risk.
Right.
100%. You can have conservative products, you can have aggressive products, but I can see already, I can forecast people selling other people high risk pool as if it was in short or 100% safe. So in seeing that, it scares me, because I understand when people share the low risk as something that is very conservative, because it is. But the high risk pool is operating a lot of masternodes that some of them I don't even know the names. I mean, it's crazy what it operates. So we need people to understand that is going to be different vision. Okay. But
right.
Yeah,
and I really appreciate that, Javier, because you bring in the transparency, and you're looking for, and what you have and what you guys created is a long-term project here, and I like the vision that you created, because this is something that to my team and myself, I've had my experience with MasterNodes, and I have never seen this kind of transparency take place, and I actually wish that I knew you a long time ago and we could have partnered up, because this is just phenomenal. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing and creating, and the team, and and I understand the security and everything that y'all trying to take precaution of, and I respect it deeply.
Perfect. Many thanks, guys. So if there's no further questions, it was lovely, as always, for me to share this time. It's always lovely to have meetings on Fridays to be able to finish off the week strong, even though I'm still going to be working tomorrow and Sunday. But we're still happy. We're happy about what is happening. We're happy that people around the world, you know, are starting to notice this technology, are starting to notice what it is going to significate to people. Hello, do you have any questions? Hello?
Hello, Zafir, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello. No, I'm doing great, man. Thank you for this presentation. Yeah, it's becoming clear to me. Tutu here from South Africa, invited by Masini. I keep on hearing you mentioning the bank and the MasterNode, the cryptocurrency. My question is, knowing that the name bank or investment is a very what can I say? It's a name that cannot be just mentioned. As you say that this is a bank, do you have a banking license?
We have in Estonia the financial licenses that were provided by the FIU, the Financial Intelligence Unit, to be able to operate as a crypto bank.
Oh, as a crypto bank. Okay.
Yeah. Now that allows us to use the word. We already consulted that because I was confronted months back, actually here in Spain, saying you cannot use the word bank in your own commercial name. We asked our legal advisors and they told us, you know, we are actually a crypto bank. There's nothing wrong in putting that in the name, you know. But we fully understand in that sense. It's one of the questions that has been ongoing for months.
Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So as I was saying, guys, I thank you all for being here. I hope that we have more and more people. I want to say that thank you to Jose and thank you to Martin, to Jairo, to Martin, to everybody for setting up this call. I wanted to say as well that I love Jairo's glasses. They're looking great, as always, and looking fresh. And that I thank you for your time because it is always awesome to be here, to be appreciated in this sense. And we work a lot every week. So it helps us disconnect a bit from the routine and from being all day long together with the computer, right? And even though we're still through a screen, I hope one day we're going to get to meet each other and grab a coffee and good meal and enjoy, you know. So thank you all for the trust, for the confidence, and I hope that as soon as it is possible again, we're all up and running and throwing out events and, you know, having fun out there. So thank you for your time. And I hope you have a blessed weekend.
Thank you very much, Javier.
You too. Thank you.
Pues muchas gracias a ti otra vez por tu tiempo y nada.
Thank you. Ciao, bye.
Estamos en contacto, ¿vale? Muchas gracias.
Bye bye, everyone.
Hablamos, Jairo. Venga.
Esas gafas son increíbles, tío.
Gracias.
Me flipa.
Las gafas son increíbles.
Las gafillas de la pantalla ya, ¿no?
Sí, sí.
Eso ya es que la vista cansada, eso no perdona.
Las gafillas de leer.
Javi, tú ríete que vas a llegar.
Espero llegar. Eso